What if the very thing you believe will keep you safe is the very thing that will erase you? They taught you that acceptance was survival, that belonging was virtue, that being liked was the gateway to power. But the truth is darker. Fitting in is submission dressed as strategy. It is obedience masquerading as wisdom. And those who master power know that visibility comes at a price. Your edge is dulled, your intentions exposed, your authority traded for applause. You think being agreeable makes you a leader. Understand this. The man who seeks approval becomes dependent on it. He is a hostage of the crowd's shifting moods, chained to their comfort. A ruler who begs his subjects to love him cannot discipline them. A commander who wants his soldiers to like him will hesitate to punish betrayal. And in that hesitation, betrayal thrives. Even in my time, men wore masks of humility to hide their ambitions. But I watched carefully. The most dangerous men were not those who smiled broadly, but those who withheld their expression entirely. Power does not advertise itself. It emerges when needed. It speaks little. It moves precisely. Everyone sees what you appear to be, I once wrote. Few experience what you really are. This is not mere observation. It is a warning to those who believe transparency is a virtue. To fit in, you must show yourself. To show yourself is to be known. And what is known can be predicted, controlled, destroyed. Imagine a court filled with sycophants, each praising the prince's mercy. They do not fear him. They measure him. They see where he yields. They learn the terrain of his concessions. Then, when the time is right, they encircle him like wolves around a weakened stag. And he, blind in his pursuit of their affection, does not even see the teeth bared in laughter. Modern society rewards the man who tells all. Oversharing is branded authenticity, but confession is currency. And once you trade your truth for their approval, you are forever in debt. Think of your social media confessions, your virtue signals, your carefully curated relatability. These are not shields, they are shackles. You want to belong? Good. Your enemies want that too, because the man who wants to belong will pay any price to remain accepted. He will soften his convictions, dull his instincts, bury his ambition. He will speak gently when he should roar. He will apologize for victories, lest he appear arrogant. He will make himself small enough to fit their mold. Consider the general in battle. He who broadcasts his strategy ensures defeat. He who seeks the enemy's favor forgets his own survival. And so, true generals lie in wait. They maneuver without warning. They strike without explanation. Their unpredictability is their armor. Most of you fear rejection so deeply you call it morality. You want to be good, so they will keep you close. But goodness that is performed for the crowd is not virtue. It is dependency. It is a leash you clasp around your own neck and beg them to hold. Ask yourself, who are you trying to please? Who must you become to keep their favor? And when you look in the mirror, do you see your own face or the sum of their demands? To rule yourself, let alone others, you must first be willing to stand alone. The lonely road is the price of sovereignty. There is no dominion without separation, no true authority without the risk of being misunderstood, feared, even hated. A man who cannot stomach solitude cannot wield power, because he cannot enforce unpopular truths. He cannot demand excellence where mediocrity is cherished. He cannot say no when the world pleads for yes. There is a reason lions hunt alone when it matters most. There is a reason kings consult in shadows, not in crowds. Power requires silence to plan, distance to see clearly, and the will to act without permission. Most will never understand this. They will mock you for being cold, call you arrogant for refusing to explain. They will demand you justify your advantage. That is how the weak negotiate with the strong. They call your reserve cruelty so they can manage their own fear of irrelevance. But you must learn this discipline. Do not give them the map to your mind. Do not teach them how to soothe your anger or stroke your vanity. Guard your internal state as you would a fortress. If they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. Fitting in is camouflage for those who refuse to build real armor. It is a plea for mercy from the world you secretly fear, but the world shows no mercy to the soft-hearted. It consumes them, praises their sacrifice, and forgets them. They want you predictable, because predictable men are safe to ignore, easy to use. The man who stands apart threatens the order they depend upon. He suggests alternatives. He sparks unrest. He becomes a possibility, and possibility is dangerous. So they will reward your conformity with applause. They will crown you the good man, the relatable one, the safe choice. But they will never give you their loyalty, and they will never fear your displeasure. If you want power, stop auditioning for their affection. Let your silence unnerve them. Let your refusals teach them your limits. Let your unpredictability remind them you are not theirs to shape. The applause you crave today will become the command they hold over you tomorrow. And when you realize that, it may already be too late. You think they admire you because you fit in? No, they tolerate you because you do. Fitting in is agreement at the cost of your own edge. It is the forfeiture of your threat. And make no mistake, every man in power understands the value of being a threat. A man who poses no threat is a man they do not need to negotiate with. They do not consider his interests. They do not fear his retaliation. They do not seek his alliance. They simply expect his compliance. This is the truth you've been kept from seeing. They don't want you powerful. They want you pleasant. They want you accessible, predictable. They want you so entangled in their approval that you cannot act without consulting their expectations. Consider the merchant who underprices himself to win friends. At first, he is loved. His customers praise his generosity. His rivals commend his humility. But behind closed doors, they plan how to ruin him. He has taught them he will bend, that he fears offense more than ruin. He has made himself cheap. And so it is with men who make their personality cheap. They laugh at jokes that offend them. They agree with plans that betray their interests. They dilute their truth so no one feels threatened. This is not diplomacy, it is surrender. In Florence, I watched men whisper honeyed words in council chambers, only to plunge knives in the alleys at night. I learned quickly, trust no man who fears to speak the harsh truth aloud. He is not honest, he is calculating. His silence is not strategy but cowardice. You imagine that if you smooth all edges, you will be loved universally. You forget that universal love is worth nothing. Those who love you for your obedience will abandon you the moment you resist them. Their affection is conditional on your compliance. A prince who makes everyone comfortable invites conspiracies, because comfort breeds contempt. When people see your need to be liked, they see your weakness. And weakness is an invitation. Power is not built on universal love. It is built on selective respect, enforced by the quiet possibility of punishment. This is why true leaders do not seek to be friends with all. They choose allies. They manage enemies. They do not apologize for the distinction. Ask yourself, do they respect you, or do they simply find you convenient? When you say no, do they listen, or do they push harder? When you speak, do they adjust, or do they dismiss? These questions will reveal the true nature of your standing. Modern culture will tell you that respect is won by being endlessly understanding, by accommodating, by avoiding offense at all costs. But offense is inevitable when you draw lines. When you say, here is what I will and will not accept. The man who fears to offend cannot rule himself. He cannot enforce his own standards. He cannot defend his boundaries. He cannot protect what he loves. Look at history. The emperors, the generals, the cunning ministers, they did not beg for acceptance. They created the terms of acceptance. They dictated the conversation. They spoke last. And in speaking last, they decided the meaning of what had been said. There is a reason I wrote that it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear is reliable. Fear respects the line you draw. Fear makes them hesitate before betraying you. But this is not permission for cruelty without purpose. Fear without respect breeds rebellion. A wise man cultivates an air of danger, but is precise in its application. His threat is implied, not flaunted. His power is felt, not boasted. You want everyone to know your mind, to see your heart? You call it honesty, but it is weakness. Honesty without discretion is self-sabotage. You give them the dagger and turn your back. They tell you to be transparent. Ask yourself why. Transparency makes you legible. Legibility makes you manageable. They cannot control what they cannot predict. The unreadable man is dangerous precisely because he cannot be anticipated. His silence is unsettling. His calm cannot be manipulated. His motives remain his own. And so you must learn to guard your intentions. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. Let them invent stories about you while you pursue your designs. Their confusion is your cover. Their assumptions are your allies. You think this is cynical? Good. Power is cynical. Power is not given. It is taken, kept, defended. It does not apologize for existing. It does not soften itself so that others feel safer. Ask yourself why you want to fit in. Is it comfort, safety, approval? None of these will help you when the knives come out. None of these will save you when you must make an unpopular choice. In the end, those who try hardest to fit in are the first to be sacrificed, because no one fears losing them. They can be replaced, forgotten, absorbed into the collective with no protest. I do not want that for you. I want you to be irreplaceable. I want you to be remembered. And for that, you must be willing to stand apart, even when it costs you. Especially then. They will tell you that unity is strength, that being part of something bigger grants you security. But remember, collectives have no loyalty to the individual. The group will always sacrifice one to save itself. The crowd is faithful only to its own survival. Fitting in is selling your sovereignty for the illusion of protection. They want you dependent. They want you to need their validation so they can dictate the terms of your belonging. This is how empires keep subjects docile, how churches keep congregations obedient, how corporations keep employees replaceable. Understand this deeply. The man who relies on the crowd's acceptance has given them a veto over his actions. He has outsourced his judgment. Before he decides, he asks, will they still want me? That question is a chain. It ensures you will never move faster than they allow, never think beyond what they can understand, never want more than they can accept. I do not write for the comfortable. I write for those who sense this prison, even if they cannot yet name it. For those who feel the weight of the mask they wear and suspect it is killing them. Consider the gladiator, cheered by the crowd. They love his performance, his skill, his blood, but they will just as quickly turn on him when he disappoints them. The crowd demands more, always more. The moment you cease to entertain them, they will call for your head. You see this today in your influencers, your politicians, your celebrities. They beg for applause. They mold themselves to the trends, the moods, the demands of the moment. And when the wind changes, they scramble to change too. It is a dance of desperation masquerading as connection. Do you want that fate? To be so tied to their approval that your own convictions rot away, unused, forgotten? To be a man who can only move when the crowd gives permission? You think your compromise is smart, that it buys you time, that they will see your reasonableness and reward it. But they will not. They will pocket your concession and demand the next. They will test how far you will go to remain acceptable. And when they find your limit, they will break it or cast you out. The man who cannot say no has no value in negotiation. He is simply the other party's servant, no matter how polite the terms. I watched courtiers in Florence bow to each new duke, each new faction. They lived by flattery, died by suspicion, because no one trusts a man who cannot stand firm. They knew such men would sell them for safety, if the winds turned. To avoid this, you must cultivate something rarer than charm, consistency, a spine, a line that cannot be crossed without consequence. This is not about needless conflict. It is about demonstrating you are not for sale, that your loyalty cannot be purchased at the price of your integrity, that you will not trade your self-respect for the applause of those who do not know you, do not care about you, and will never suffer with you. People sense this. They test for it. They push, they provoke, they insult, and they wait to see if you will yield. The man who yields quickly is marked as soft, manageable, expendable. You want power? Then become the man who can refuse. The man who can accept being disliked, even hated, because the man who is willing to be hated cannot be controlled. They will call you arrogant. Let them. They will say you think you are better than them. Let them. They will accuse you of being cold. Let them. These are the prices you pay for commanding your own soul. Most will never understand why you refuse to fit in. That is fine. Their confusion is a sign you have done something right. You have escaped the prison they built for themselves. Because here is the truth. If you can be excluded, you can be manipulated. The threat of exile is leverage. They will dangle it over you like a blade. Do as we say or be alone. Think as we think or be cast out. But the man who is at peace with his own company cannot be threatened this way. He carries his homeland within him. He builds alliances by choice, not desperation. He engages from strength, not need. When you free yourself from needing to fit in, you become dangerous. They cannot predict your moves because you do not depend on their script. They cannot bribe you with flattery or cow you with shame. You stand outside their system. This is the essence of real power, not control over others, but mastery over yourself. Not dominance in the open, but the quiet refusal to be owned. So I ask you now, who owns you? Whose approval determines what you say, what you do, what you want? If the answer is anyone but yourself, you are not free, you are not safe, you are not powerful. They will not tell you this, because they need you pliant, they need you agreeable. They will teach you that humility is shrinking, that kindness is surrender, that compromise is virtue, even when it means self-betrayal. I will not teach you that. I will teach you that fitting in will destroy you. It will smooth your edges until you cannot cut through anything. It will numb your instincts until you cannot sense danger. It will fill your mouth with pleasing lies until you can no longer speak the truth even to yourself. And when you wake up and realize what you've lost, it will be too late. They will not mourn what you lost. They will not care that you sacrificed your essence to become acceptable. In fact, they will applaud it. They will tell you how good you are, how well you've adapted, how mature you've become. They will reward your obedience with polite smiles and hollow praise. Do you think this is respect? No, it is relief. Relief that you are no longer a threat. Relief that you have chosen safety over confrontation. Relief that you will no longer force them to see what they have refused to become. Fitting in is treachery against yourself. It is signing a treaty that surrenders your instincts, your voice, your authority in exchange for a fragile truce with the world. But the world does not honor truces. The moment it is inconvenient to keep you around, you will be abandoned without hesitation. Consider the alliances of princes, built on necessity, dissolved by opportunity. When you no longer serve their purpose, they will walk away. Worse, they will blame you for it. They will call you difficult, selfish, uncooperative. But hear me, better to be called difficult than to be disposable. Better to be known for refusing than forgotten for complying. When you are known for drawing lines, people negotiate with you. When you are known for crossing your own lines to please them, they simply use you. This is why power demands that you define yourself. That you say, this I will do, this I will never do, and that you enforce those boundaries without apology. Because if you will not defend your limits, you have none. Think of the wolf. It does not ask to be liked. It does not seek permission to hunt. It knows what it is. And because it knows, the forest knows. The deer flee, the other predators give space. It does not brag. It does not explain. It simply is. You must become like that. Not loud, not boastful, simply certain. Certainty unsettles people. They will call it arrogance. They will say you think too highly of yourself. Let them. Their discomfort is their own. It is not your duty to make the uncertain feel safe in your presence. Because your certainty will cost you. Make no mistake. You will lose invitations. You will lose admirers. You will lose the easy path of nodding along. But what you gain is worth far more. The knowledge that you cannot be moved by mere approval. That is the foundation of leadership. Not charm, not mass appeal, but the ability to hold your position even when it is unpopular. Especially then, I have seen men who were loved by all, but respected by none. They were agreeable, gracious, endlessly understanding, and when the moment came for decisive action, they found themselves alone. Their allies vanished, sensing weakness. Their enemies struck, sensing opportunity. They had traded respect for affection, and when they needed loyalty, they found only disappointment. If you want true loyalty, do not beg for it. Command it by being worthy of it, by standing for something beyond your own comfort, by showing that you will not bend simply because bending is easier. Because people test you, they want to know where you stand, and they want to know if you will stand there when the wind blows. This is why kings hold court in silence. why generals say little before battle, why negotiators pause before responding. Silence reveals nothing. It forces the other side to fill the void with their own fears and assumptions. Speak only when it serves you. Reveal only what you choose. Let them wonder what you think. Let them question what you will do. Predictability is a weakness. Once they can predict you, they can plan for you, they can trap you, they can turn your habits into their weapons. Do not give them that luxury. Fitting in requires you to be legible. To be legible is to be vulnerable. It is to surrender the advantage of mystery. Mystery is power. It buys you time. It creates space. It makes them cautious. It keeps them honest. I will not tell you this is easy. It is not. It is far simpler to nod along, to agree, to belong. It is comforting to know you will not be questioned, that you will not be targeted, that you will not be alone. But comfort is a terrible teacher. It rewards the present while stealing the future. It gives you warmth while taking your edge. And the world respects the edge, even when it claims to fear it, even when it criticizes it. Ask yourself truly, if they can read you entirely, do they respect you or pity you? If you have given them everything they want, why would they value you? The man who can refuse them earns their respect even when they hate him for it, because they know he is real. Fitting in is death by 1,000 small concessions. Each one seems harmless. Each one seems polite. Each one seems necessary. Until one day you look in the mirror and see a stranger mouthing words that are not yours, dreaming dreams that were given to you, chasing goals that do not satisfy you. I want you to reject that. I want you to guard your mind as a king guards his kingdom, to be ruthless in defending your standards, to be uncompromising in your truth. Not to harm others, but to ensure you cannot be harmed by their expectations. Because when you no longer fear their rejection, you have nothing left to fear from them at all. They will try to shame you for this. They will call you selfish for refusing to be shaped. They will say you are uncooperative, difficult, even dangerous. Understand this, they must say these things. It is the only way to defend their own comfort. They cannot admit that you threaten them simply by existing outside their control, so they will moralize your defiance. They will dress it up as vice so they can condemn it publicly while envying it privately. This is a pattern as old as power itself. Those who refuse to kneel expose those who do. Your independence becomes an accusation without you saying a word, and people hate being reminded of their own surrender. They will want to break you back into shape. They will tempt you with praise when you conform. They will punish you with silence when you don't. They will tell you that you owe them your agreement, but you owe them nothing. Power is not granted by consensus. It is seized by those willing to pay for it with the coin of isolation, discomfort, and clarity. Clarity is expensive. It means knowing what you want, even when they want you confused. It means seeing through their bribes of acceptance. It means naming your price and refusing to negotiate it. Most men will never do this. They will preach compromise as virtue. They will celebrate their flexibility. They will call their spinelessness diplomacy. But diplomacy without an edge is begging. It is negotiation where you have nothing to threaten, nothing to withhold, nothing to make them pause. You must have something they fear losing: your approval, your cooperation, your silence, your participation, your talent, your loyalty. If you will give these things freely to all, they become worthless. You think fitting in buys safety, but safety is not guaranteed by the crowd. The crowd has no memory. They will forget your sacrifices the moment you are no longer useful. They will praise you for serving them and discard you when you ask for something in return. I watched entire councils shift allegiance overnight, abandoning men who had bled for them because a better opportunity emerged. Do not think yourself immune. Power is not in being liked, it is in being needed, and people do not need what they can replace. Make yourself irreplaceable by refusing to be everyone's version of you. Be consistent, be inflexible about your principles. Let them know what you will and will not do. Make your boundaries visible and non-negotiable. This will make them cautious with you. It will force them to consider you. It will make them wonder how you might respond. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. This is the basis of respect. They will ask you to explain yourself. Do not. Explanation is a plea for understanding. It is seeking approval dressed up as logic. Let them misunderstand you. Let them guess. Let them worry. Your job is not to make them comfortable with your truth. Your job is to live it. Do you want to lead? Then accept that leadership means being alone in your decision before others see its value. It means seeing the danger before they acknowledge it. It means saying no while they demand yes. They will resist you. They will resent you. Good. That is the price of authority. Authority is not granted by votes. It is recognized in the silence that follows your refusal to be moved. Consider the general who holds the line while others panic. He does not shout for their approval. He does not beg them to like his plan. He holds, and because he holds, they steady themselves. That steadiness is not born of popularity. It is born of resolve. You must become this, the one who holds, the one who refuses to retreat from his own judgment even when the crowd demands surrender. Because crowds do not know what they want. They are driven by fear, by appetite, by envy. They want security without sacrifice, victory without conflict, respect without discipline. They will reward those who tell them these lies, but they will follow those who live the truth. You must choose which you want to be, because you cannot have both. If you choose to fit in, you will have applause, laughter, easy company, but you will also have to silence the part of you that knows better, the part that sees the flaw in their plan, the danger in their compromise, the cowardice in their caution. And that part of you will wither from neglect. But if you choose to stand apart, you will have quiet, doubt, solitude, and the heavy responsibility of seeing what others refuse to see. But you will also have freedom, the freedom to say no, the freedom to see clearly, the freedom to act without asking permission. And in the end, that is the only freedom worth having. They will never admit this to you. They will never say, "We want you obedient, predictable, easy to manage." They will dress it up as belonging, as community, as shared values. They will praise your willingness to compromise, your understanding nature, your ability to get along. But understand this clearly. They do not want you to belong for your benefit. They want you to belong for theirs. Because as long as you need them, they own a piece of you. This is why you must be prepared to walk alone, to say no without apology, to stand in silence while they chatter, to keep your counsel when they demand your allegiance. Do you think they will respect you for this? Some will, but most will resent you. Your refusal to submit will feel like a judgment of their own compliance. Your independence will be a mirror they cannot bear to look into. They will call you arrogant. They will call you difficult. They will say you think you're better than them. Let them, because the truth is, you must think you are better than the version of yourself who would surrender for comfort. You must think you are better than the man who trades his edge for applause. It is not about being better than them. It is about being better than who you would become if you let them shape you. They will offer you rewards, approval, inclusion, promotion, partnership. These will come with conditions. Small at first. Agree with us here. Be silent about this. Don't question that. And with each acceptance, your price lowers, until the day they own you outright, and you are too invested to resist. This is how good men become silent, how ambitious men become servile, how brilliant men become predictable. Do not let this be you. You want power, then you must want truth more than comfort. You must want respect more than approval. You must want freedom more than belonging. Because the man who wants belonging above all else will give up anything to keep it, and they know it. Ask yourself now, what is your price? What would they have to offer for you to silence your instincts, bend your principles, betray yourself? And if you don't know your price, it is because you have never been tested. But you will be. They will test you in small ways. A joke you laugh at though you hate it. A policy you accept though you know it's wrong. A silence you keep though your words might have saved someone. They will test you in large ways. Loyalty to people who would not bleed for you. Complicity in failures you didn't cause but must answer for. Endorsements of ideas you know will harm those who trust you. And if you fail these tests, they will not call you a traitor. They will call you a team player. They will reward you. They will make you comfortable. Until one day you realize you can no longer tell where their thoughts end and yours begin. This is the cost of fitting in. I want you to see it for what it is. Because there is another way, a harder way, a lonelier way, but the only way worthy of you. You can choose to be the man they cannot buy, the man they cannot predict, the man they cannot shape. You can choose to cultivate silence over chatter, mystery over transparency, strength over likability. You can choose to let them misunderstand you, to let them be uncomfortable, to let them fear disappointing you instead of the other way around. You can choose to draw lines so clear they never dare cross them. This will make you enemies. Good. It will make you allies worth having. This will cost you easy friendships. Good. It will leave you with loyalty you can trust. This will make you hard to love. Good. It will ensure you are never loved for anything less than who you truly are. I will not lie to you. This path is not for everyone. Most will not even see it. Fewer will choose it. But for those who do, there is a kind of power no crown can bestow, no army can force, no wealth can purchase. The power of a man who cannot be moved from himself. The power of the unreadable face, the silent room, the unspoken threat. The power of the wolf who does not beg to be accepted by the sheep. If you want that power, stop fitting in. Stop explaining. Stop apologizing. Stand. If you've listened this far, it means there's a part of you that already knows you can't keep living on your knees. A part that is tired of rehearsing the right answers, tired of nodding along, tired of smiling while you shrink. That part of you is ready for war. Not war against others, war against your own weakness, your own need to be liked, your own fear of standing alone. Because you know what they don't want you to know, that once you choose yourself fully, you can never be owned again. It will not be easy. It will cost you company, comfort, certainty. But it will buy you the only thing that matters, freedom. Freedom to act without permission. Freedom to speak without rehearsing. Freedom to become something they can't predict or control. So ask yourself now, are you willing to pay for that freedom? To lose what you don't need in order to become who you truly are? If this message spoke to you, if it forced you to look at the places where you've been kneeling, write in the comments, I choose my edge. Let's see how many here are ready to stop fitting in and start standing out. And don't stop here, watch the next video. It matters more than you think, because you're not done yet. You're just getting started.